It's Thursday. College football tonight. There was college football last night and the night before. It's crazy how much college football that we are about to have. Top 5 keys to the big weekend, and this is a great one. This is what we've been waiting for with all this realignment is a weekend like this. We have so many good games. Of course, brought to you by Texas Beef House. Use our promo code 365sports at bitonbeef.com. Number 5, can USC find its offense again? Defensively against Penn State, this should be a nice little struggle. It's at home, but can they find the offense? Andy Kotelnicki certainly found Penn State's offense. Can USC be that Lincoln Riley team with playmakers? And can Woody Marks in the running game and the Branch brothers and all those guys make plays to move this offensive along? They've been contained the last couple of losses they've had by Michigan and by Minnesota. Can they, against what I think is a better defense in Penn State, find their offense? That's a huge question for the Trojans on Saturday. Number 4, is Arizona State good enough to beat Utah? And the way the Sun Devil mascot is turning and looking at me right now leads me to believe that he thinks that they are. Now, if Cam Rising doesn't play and this long, confusing train of Willie or won't he continues into a second year, if it keeps going, then and he doesn't play, then I think Sam Leavitt's the better quarterback in the game. Cam Scadaboo's a big-time player, but that Utah defense still exists. So can Arizona State's offense score enough on the Utah defense? That remains to be seen, but I do think it's a distinct possibility that the Sun Devils win this game, especially if Cam Rising doesn't play. And even if he does, there's a good vibe going on there with Kenny Dillingham and his team right now. I would not be surprised to see tomorrow night Arizona State getting the upset win over Utah. Am I picking them? I don't know yet. But this is a better game now than it was at the beginning of the season. That's for sure. Number 3, can LSU secondary defend against Ole Miss? Trey Harris has like 1 billion catches already in the year. I think 57 catches, 885 yards, and 5 touchdowns. He is really good. So is Juice Wells, the receiver on the other side. They have targets for Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, and this has been Blaine Baker's biggest struggle. Front seven's played a lot better lately, but the secondary still isn't a classic LSU secondary. Can they make plays against a guy like Trey Harris, who might be the overall best wide receiver in the country right now, and he's not getting talked about enough because there's guys like Travis Hunter out there. But Trey Harris, in most years right now, would be a Heisman candidate that we're talking about, given he's got, at the halfway point, over 50 catches and 885 yards. That's insane. And he is making plays all over the place. So can LSU do that? Can they get Caden Durham involved in the offense more to keep that defense off the field? That's another big question. Caden Durham might be the secondary's best friend this week if he has another big game for the Tigers. Number 2, can Colorado contain K-State's running game? They played a complete game against UCF. Can they do it again, this time at home, against a better team? That's where we'll see some real Colorado growth if they do. Because, and I think we've already seen some, but this will be a big boy win for Dion and the Buffs if they can get it done. Because Kansas State's running game is really good. Giddens, Edwards, Johnson. If Avery Johnson can get something going in the passing game, that makes it that much better. Their defense is probably a little better equipped to handle the playmakers at Colorado, although I don't know if anybody's completely equipped to handle guys like Travis Hunter and Shepard and Wester and Horn and Sanders. That's going to be tough. But this one should be a really good game and maybe a bit of a brawl in Boulder. I expect Colorado to leave it all out there. I expect the same for Chris Klieman and Kansas State. Going to be a great one in Boulder. And if they can contain that running game and don't let them get loose, then that's probably going to be a win for Colorado. A team that's better than I think we all thought they were going to be at this point in the season. And number 1, is Oregon deep enough to hang with Ohio State? I don't think that they are, and I also think that this is a game where Ohio State says, welcome to the Big Ten, guys. This is what you signed up for. The only position I would say that they're better at, I would rather have Dylan Gabriel than Will Howard, but Wide receiver, running back, offensive line, defensive line, secondary, linebackers, everything across the board better at Ohio State than most places in the country. I think they have the deepest roster, pound for pound, in the entire country. Ryan Day is running out of excuses. Going to be a tough place to play in Autzen. Dan Lanning, who we need as America's coach early in the year, America's coach may not be able to get over on this one just yet. This could be a big building moment for Oregon. Plus, you remember early in the season they started slow. They do that against Ohio State. Bad news. So, Oregon's going to have to make some things happen. They do have the coach to do it because he is not risk-averse at all. Dan Lanning will take some chances. This game gonna be a fun one in the land of the quacks. That is the top 5. We say bye-bye right now.